Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. We have a dynamite show in store for you tonight. This is the pop-up comedy show, and I do believe that our audience members are regulars. So thanks for coming back to the pop-up comedy show. We love you. If you want to turn your sound down and let us hear you laughing, we would appreciate it. If you don't, that's up to you. But do know that we love to hear your laughter, and if you have comments, just uh, just type them into the chat. We would love to hear them. I'm your host, Jim. Good to see you. Happy smiling faces again. There's just so much in the world to talk about, and you know I'm going to start because I live in the New York area, and I grew up a lifelong New Yorker. And the big exciting news that we heard today was they are opening up restaurants again in New York on September 30th to 25% capacity, which is awesome. Because I don't know about you guys, because in a pandemic, nothing will soothe you more than a pastrami sandwich from Cats. That's just the way I'm looking at it. I don't need to be able to breathe. I don't need to have a world free from infectious viruses. I need pastrami. That's what I need, preferably sliced very thin and piled very high. That's where my life is at. Um, Somebody asked me if I was looking forward, to indoor dining, and I am, because I've actually started going to outdoor dining places with my wife. She's like, I want to go out, and we go out, and we've had a lifelong battle because every time she said I want to sit outside, I complain. Here's why. I'm a bigger guy. It's hot outside, and you want to put me outside. That's not comfortable for me. I'm going to sweat. I'm going to be uncomfortable. But she's there like, it's the only thing we have. And so I go. Then 2 weeks ago in New Jersey, where I live, they opened up some indoor dining, and we started going to restaurants. And I'm there like, let's go indoors. And she's there like, you're trying to kill me. So she's still holding on to that excuse. So I'm figuring if I take her across the river into New York, she'll have to go indoors, because everybody knows if you're dining outside in New York City, you're basically dining next to a homeless person who's peeing on himself. And while that would not prevent me from finishing said pastrami sandwich, it might deter my wife from ordering anything. So I'm excited about that. There is a small rumor that they're going to start opening up the comedy clubs on September 30th as well. And as much as we love these Zoom shows for you guys, we do love performing live. And you know what I miss most about the live comedy shows that Loretta and Sasha, you guys just can't provide for us? That's the heckler. The heckler at a live comedy show, that drunken asshole that's just gonna just blurt out anything and anybody. You don't have that in a Zoom show. You know why? Because I can mute your fucking ass. That's why you don't have that here. So everyone's plus you're in your own home. So if you're at a bar and you behave like an asshole, you go home and you're there like it's a bad night. If you do that in your house, you're there like, dude, I'm a fucking asshole. There's no way to like shield yourself. So you tend not to do it on the Zoom shows. But I miss that. I'm looking forward to hecklers. I'm looking forward to some of the craziness that surrounds comedy clubs. And I think more than anything, I'm looking forward to being in a room full of drunks again. Because if somebody said, what did I miss the most in my 6 months away from the clubs, it wasn't so much the audience, because I get that on a Zoom show. It was that my job basically locked me in a room for 2 to 4 hours a night with people that were unbelievably drunk. And what I really love about drunk people is you lose the ability to lie well when you're drunk. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've had drunk audience members come out, and I'm standing with a room full of comics, and they'll turn to one of us and go, "You were great." And then they'll turn to the other one and go, "Hey," and leave. And that tells you everything you need to know right there. That tells you there's a hierarchy of humanity. And I miss that. I miss the sound of newly minted adult girls retching in the bathroom because they did not realize how much alcohol there is in a Long Island iced tea. So they had two of them. And it's a particular sound of retching. Sasha, you can't heckle because your dad's on the show. You know, you can't heckle when there's family on the show.
You could
But
try.
it's a particular kind of retching that you have when you get that. And we've all thrown up at some points in our lives. I know this is a base subject and a little bit disgusting to talk about. But there's that reactionary, I'm sick, I need to expel this from my body. And then there is that I have abused my body to the point where my internal organs are now systematically plotting a fucking revolt. And that's the kind of vomiting that tends to happen with drunk people at comedy clubs. So I'm missing the restaurants, I'm missing the comedy clubs, and then I'm also missing rude behavior. Because I don't know your experience in the Zoom world, but because everyone tends to know each other in the room, we're not acting like the true assholes we are. And can we be really honest? Each and every one of us, when we dig deep down into the core of our humanity, is truly an asshole. We all have that bit of behavior that in those deep, dark places that we don't want to talk about. Yeah, we're that kind of person. Like, I have a friend of mine who is a very staunch Trump person and a very staunch anti-masker. But it's somebody I grew up with. It's somebody I know since I'm 4. So it's that person that you kind of got to look the other way and you go, all right, something happened in your life. Your uncle touched you. I don't know what the fuck it was. There's something wrong with you. I'm going to have to forgive you for the moment. But he's in my life, and he's always spouting this stuff that's like pure hatred. Like if you said Black Lives Matter, he's like, well, what about Asian lives? You know, and it's like just masterly, you know, deflecting all the tropes at once. And there's a part of me that secretly hopes very evil things happen to him. Like, you know, I was talking to him on the phone, and he coughed, and I'm there like, is it COVID? You know, it was that kind of just excited anticipation. I know this is a little dark for you guys at 7 o'clock on a Wednesday night, but we're going to go there. So I miss the assholish behavior because that's true humanity. Like, whenever a cashier says, thank you, have a nice day, we all know they really don't mean it. You know that, right? But if you're driving and somebody cuts you off and then flips you the bird, you know they meant every bit of that. You know that was heartfelt. And that's what I miss. I miss people showing their true emotions. And I just want to get back to those true emotions. That's the way I'm looking at it. And we will. We're slowly but surely getting back, people. Now we have got a dynamite show for you guys. We've got so many amazing comics, and your headliner today you are absolutely going to love. And I know nobody who in the room has seen him before, because we've actually toured the world together and attempted to kill each other with spicy food in Korea. Was it Korea we tried to kill each other in, or was it Middle East? What? Qatar. That we try to kill each other with. But we're going to get to him in just a little bit. We're going to just kick things off right now with an extremely funny man. You will probably recognize him from the show you watched last week. Put him together for James DeSalvo. James DeSalvo, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey!
Oh, yeah. You know what? There's a special kind of asshole out there. You know the guy in the recumbent bike. You've seen these bikes that let you sit back and pedal like a lazy boy with wheels. These guys, and they're always almost middle-aged white guys, pedal along with this smug smile of self-satisfaction. Look at me, I'm doing my part to save the planet. And their bike is covered in bumper stickers, coexist, eco-warrior, rescue pet dad, who saved who? And that 8-foot-tall safety flag sticking up like he's a tour guide for Doucheland. Okay, if you'll please follow me, thank you. Follow me here. Over here is where we make the locally source organic kale shakes. Take one. Don't. Sorry, we only use paper straws. And this room is where our chefs make the gluten-free artisanal granola. The secret is chicory. And now, if you'll follow me to this room, please. It's quite special to us. This is the Museum of White Guilt. Please leave your privilege at the door. Thank you. Now, on the wall here, you'll see digital counters. They keep track of how many minority friends we have. As you can see, the top counter lets us know that we have 17 African-American friends. And the second one says that we have 5 Hispanic friends. What? Yes, that counts the landscapers at home. Okay. Another question. Great. Why is the bottom counter blank? Well, we're not really sure how to categorize Asians. People of color, white, we're working on it. Okay. Now, over here, this is the I'm not racist because excuse generator. Let me show you how it works. Just hit this button, and out comes your excuse. Oh. I'm not racist because I have 22 minority friends. Oh, 26 if we count Asians. You try. I'm not racist because I have a Black Lives Matter bumper sticker on my bike. Now, on that wall hang the portraits of famous African Americans. Well, famous to us, and their contributions. Martin Luther King Jr., of course, he had a dream. That's Harriet Tubman. She helped the slaves somehow. And here's famous author and poet Maya Angelou. What? No, I've never actually read her work, but I believe she helped Stella get a groove back or something like that. Well,
I love that joke.
Our tour is almost over. This way to the gift shop. You can buy a t-shirt handcrafted by special needs Nepalese children made with pure Tibetan cotton. And then I saw these pretentious idiots the other day with these stupid hobbies. These 3 people talking, I'm taking up candle making. Oh, and I'm taking up soap making. And I swear to God, somebody said they were taking a course in blacksmithing. Where do you live? The 1850s? Are you pioneering on the frontier? Oh, we need more land. I'll just knit some smallpox blankets for the natives. And pioneering, if I watched The Pioneer Woman. If you're not familiar with it, it's a cooking show on Food Network where this woman moves into a gorgeous house on a gigantic farm and cooks to feed her family while they're out farming. She uses pioneer recipes. Let's mix our cornmeal and buttermilk in the food processor. You know, like the pioneers had. Next, we'll add some home-churned butter I bought at Trader Joe's. And of course, there are gun racks in case of an engine attack. I'm just waiting for General Custer or the gang from F Troop to pop by. Yeah. I found out why Fanta soda sucks. It was invented by the Nazis. Yeah, they couldn't import Coca-Cola during the war, so they developed that. What was he advertising? Fanta for the master taste. Fanta, it's the right stuff. Fanta, exterminate your thirst.
Oh, God.
And it's also surprising that cancel culture hasn't caught up with Disney yet. I mean, Walt Disney was allegedly an anti-Semite, but you know, it's evident in the early Mickey Mouse cartoons. I think it was 1939's Mickey Mouse's Mickey's Final Solution. Oh boy, kids! They say that the Jews are a secret cabal and they control all the world's money. They also say they want to drink the blood of all Christian babies. Oh, really? Gosh, Mick, I don't think you should be saying that. That's not true. Oh, so you don't believe in one true Christian God, do you there, Goofy, huh? Oh, Goofy, what kind of name is that? Is it short for Goldfarb? Are you a Hebrew? Oh. Thank you very much. We're going to back to your host, the very funny Jim Mendrinos.
Keep it going, James, ladies and gentlemen. James DeSalvo. All right, we have another very funny gentleman to bring to the stage in just a minute, and he is very Santa Claus looking. So you guys are going to enjoy this. You may recognize him from his own Amazon special called Living Large. Put your heads together and help me welcome Mr. John G. John G, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, how we doing? So, you know, I don't know, I might have talked about this before, but, you know, I really went into pandemic and I really believed that I hated people. And I think that the pandemic taught me that I didn't hate people as much as I thought I did. I didn't like to be alone as much as I thought I did. I think I almost went crazy during the pandemic, right? So I would do things like I would stay home and I would like watch the same movies that I had watched before because it made me feel like I was connected. I didn't watch new stuff. I was watching the stuff that I saw before. And then I would get up and I would make my bed because I was hoping somebody would show up and stop by that day to join me in bed later that night. And I didn't want to have unmade bed, you know, but obviously nobody showed up, you know. It's just like, I thought that the world was going to get smarter during the pandemic, that people would take their time and go on education and everything else, but it truly didn't happen. You know, today was like a prime example of that. My brother had to go into the hospital today for a small little procedure, and he had to get a corona test to go to the hospital, right? They were going to let me go in there with him, but I have never been corona tested. How does that even make sense? You know, I don't know. You know, it just doesn't make sense at all. And, you know, through this whole time, you know, all the loneliness and all this other stuff, you know, I decided I was going to truly try internet dating for the first time. So I signed up for Tinder, right? I put up my picture of me in my full red Santa Claus suit on Tinder. Okay? I got a ton of hits. I got a ton of likes, a few matches. But everybody that matched with me, the first question they asked me is, what present am I bringing them? I mean, come on. You know what present you're going to get when you're on Tinder. What are you thinking about?
You're on mute.
You're on mute, John.
How did I do that? I don't even know how I did that.
Magic of Christmas.
The magic of Christmas. See? Even the computer didn't want to hear Santa Claus talking about his little North Pole. I don't know. And besides, even if you do match up with somebody on Tinder nowadays and you go on a date, I'm a person that's older with heart problems. Do you risk, is sex really worth the risk of getting COVID and dying? I don't know. I lost a part-time job as Santa Claus. I'm sure there's no little kids going to sit on my lap this year. I don't know. It's just going to be a tough year. Traffic, people driving. Have you noticed that there's no traffic, but it's still slower than it used to be? I think people completely forgot how to drive. You know, I'm going down the highway and there's like this merge lane traffic, and the yield right away. I think they forgot that it's yield right away, and they thought it was yield left away, and they wanted me to stop, and I was in the fast lane. I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna go. I really don't. You know what, Jim? I think that's all I got for tonight. You can go for it.
All right, keep going with John G, ladies and gentlemen. John G. Woo! So, are you guys looking forward to Christmas this year? I think this is going to be the oddest Christmas ever, don't you think? Like,
yes.
Somebody's saying, you know, what do you want for Christmas? Not Black Death. I think that's the way I'm looking at it. I would like 100,000 less dead. That's just the way I'm thinking. All right, we are going to continue. We have another very funny gentleman to bring to the stage as soon as I can find his box. You may recognize him from his own show on Tuesday nights on Zoom. Put him together and help me welcome Cats Just cats, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Cats is muted.
He's in the box.
Am I in the box already?
Yeah, raise your volume up there, cats.
Uh-oh. Hello?
Hello.
Did that work?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Now I feel like John G. Does that mean I need to grow my beard out? Jeez. I've already got the gray hair. Uh-oh. Anyway, not if you can hear me. All right. Hey, woohoo! People actually listen to what I was saying. I'm excited. This show's already the best thing I've ever done this week. All right. So, I don't know how to get started. So I just got to dive right in. And Sasha, I don't know how old you are. You might need some earmuffs for this joke. I'm not sure. So when I was of the age of, like, you know, making out in high school and whatnot, the bases that we used to classify how far we went with our partner were very simple. Very simple, you know. On the rare occasion I was able to, like, get the second base, that's you know, grabbing the boobs. Sometimes it was under the shirt, so that was always nice. But nowadays, like, these millennials, they classify second base a tad bit different. It's tossing a salad. That means eating ass, guys. That means eating ass. That's what they're doing. I don't know how that came about. I mean, you couldn't get me to eat any vegetables when I was their age. Are dingleberries, like, high in antioxidants? How do you know if it's fresh? Is there a juiciness factor? Do you gotta, like, pick it out and squeeze it, or no? I don't know. Like, I don't even let my girlfriend wash my clothes because I'm afraid of, like, skid marks, and yet people just want to dive head first, literally, into the worst area you could possibly go. So, okay, I see where you guys are at tonight. Maybe let's try this one on for size. So my little niece, I was at my cousin's birthday party. Yeah, I call her my niece just because it's easier that way. And it was his 40th birthday, and we were talking about the olden times, you know, not just before COVID, you know, not BC, but, like, you know, high school and college, the glory days, not the glory holes. And she made this comment that was so sweet and so innocent. She's like, "You used to be thin?" And that truly broke my heart, but only because I wish America was great again, because that would mean I could hit her. So yeah, but getting older is really fun. Getting older is a lot of fun, you know. I don't have the same desires I did. Like, John G, you're on Tinder. I appreciate that. You know, I would not do that just because I don't want to disappoint any women again, more than I already have. But it's just, I like not being a sexed up horn dog. You know what it's like to be able to, like, walk through Walmart's and just pass the women's aisle and not, like, have to shift my bags around? That's a boner joke. That's a boner joke. Try to keep up. But so yeah, so getting older is really nice. I do have death to look forward to. So I've got that going for me. Do you, have you guys heard this though? Like your cemetery plot, you don't get that for life. That you buy it, but it's only a rental period. It's truly like you just a short window. You get to own it. Well, like I said, you're just renting the plot. I did not know this. It's like when you're paying for your rent for your apartment, you're also paying grandma's rent for her ground. So what happens if you're delinquent on the payment? Are they going to evict her? What would be truly amazing though is if it was like, the storage unit that you get, like, the self-storage units. You guys might be aware of that. Are they going to have like cemetery wars where you're going to bid on a plot of ground? And like, you just see like the date that like she died. Maybe there are family heirlooms buried in her. I don't know. That would be. I just, or like when you're driving down the side of the road, there are a bunch of caskets sitting on like out front of the cemetery for delinquent, like just with a big free. I could save money on my because you know how expensive caskets are. Oh my God, I'm gonna wait for one of those sales. They do sell them at Costco though, which is really weird. Why do they sell them in bulk? Okay, I guess no one else is going with me on that journey. I think I bummed everyone else out enough, so I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Here we go for cats. That's just cats, ladies and gentlemen. Delightfully insane. We all appreciate the insanity of Mr. Just Cats, do we not? I think we do. He was talking a little bit about cemeteries, which I haven't done this bit in years. When I grew up in New York City, I grew up in a railroad apartment. And if you don't know what a railroad apartment is, it's you walk in the front door and all the rooms are laid out like a train, and there's no doors. So there's no privacy. So it was the kitchen, and then there was my parents' bedroom, my bedroom, my two sisters' bedroom, and the living room, like back to back to back to back to back. And so there was no privacy. So when I hit my formidable horny years as a teenager, there was no bedroom for me to sneak a girl into to try and get laid. So you become, as a city dweller, much more adventurous with outdoor sex. And my friends would always try parks, but they would always get caught. And I would always go to cemeteries because the likelihood of getting caught is nil. No one's catching you. You go after 3 o'clock, the burials are done, no one's there. Have fun. There's a particular cemetery in Queens that I knew the lock was busted. So if it was late at night, I knew how to get in, and all my friends knew how to get in, and that was like the spot. And I'm 16 years old, and I had been working on this one young lady for almost 3 months. And I finally convinced her to go with me, and we go to the cemetery, and we're fooling around, and we're having a good old time. But of course, you grow up with a gang of guys, and my gang of guys all had the same sick sense of humor I did, and so they wanted to fuck with me. And if you're having sex in a cemetery, and the woman you're with is even a little bit squeamish, they only needed one word, and that was while we were in the middle of the act, one of my friends from about 20 feet away just went, woo, and she fucking flew. She immediately flew. Now, luckily, we were doing it doggy style, so she was already posed kind of like a sprinter, just boom, and out. But it was like the most scary thing. So now we have to one-up each other, because if your buddy fucks with you, you have to go back, and you have to go back even harder. So I waited till my buddy had taken a young lady that he was with, and I had got a zombie mask and I went to Abracadabra in the city and got a shit ton of fake blood. And while the young lady was enjoying herself on top of him, I put a bloody hand on her shoulder. And she beat the fuck out of him. And to this day, he said that's the day I almost left him for dead in a cemetery, which is kind of like the most apropos practical joke. All right, we are absolutely going to continue with a delightfully funny young comic. Please put your hands together. Help me welcome Miss Isabel Pierre. Isabel Pierre, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh.
I tried to get a guy to take me out on a date to a cemetery, and then he blocked me immediately. So, but I was just like, we, there'd be so much privacy. We'd be really quiet. We could have really gotten to know each other. I guess he didn't see it that way, you guys. So, I am back on dating apps, having made a real mess of my last relationship. Dating has not gotten easier; it's gotten harder. You ever start a new exercise regime and you're like, I just got to get to the gym, right? I just got to get to the gym. And once I'm there, I know what to do. It's not like that with dating. It's the longer you do it, the more like the eternal feeling of aloneness sets in. And I meet a lot of Black men who date interracially, and they all tell me that. I don't know why they tell me that. Maybe it's a warning. But it makes me feel like I'm some sort of United Negro palate cleanser. like I'm Black sort of like that. And I can't tell if it's like they just want to give Black girls one more try, or they just like want to wipe their hands clean of it completely. And I'm the last shot, so it's like a lot of pressure. But it's my fault that I match with these guys because I hate like their photos. Because most Black guys, they aren't going to come out and just say that they prefer white women, but they send subliminal messages in their photos. They will, like, for example, they will always have a photo taken at a bar with a beer in their hands, surrounded by all of their white friends, and you can tell the photo was taken like 5 seconds after they finished singing Sweet Caroline at the bar. And then like they'll post photos and then doing something outdoorsy, like hiking or fishing, or some other water-related sport, because they know we don't want to mess up our hair. And to be fair, that's not false. They just like they know how to get rid of us. And I downloaded Hinge. I wanted to give that a try. I hadn't tried it before. And Hinge has these question prompts that you can put on your profile, and it's like some of them are like, don't message me if you're not actually going to talk to me. Like, okay, fine, no problem. Maybe Hinge should have like a wink for feature or something like that. And then it's like sometimes, don't talk to me if you lie and you're a cheater. And it's like, oof. I kind of want to message them and be like, you need therapy. You need to get off this app immediately. I've been getting ads for all these like meal delivery services. And I can tell you that there's never been an industry where diversity in advertising is more important. Because I don't trust white people to tell me that their overpriced TV dinners have any flavor. So, without the assurance, when I see that tikka masala in front of you, without the assurance of someone brown, I'm not going to buy it. People have been asking me if I want children, and I'm not, I don't know, sometimes, mostly not. I can tell you, I have never been more excited to be childless than I have been during quarantine. God bless all of you with small children, older children, teenagers. I can't think of having a child at any stage of development right now, all at home, all the time. But also, there's no evidence that your child will like you. And that really bugs me. If I'm going to push a watermelon out of the side of the line, I need to know that you're going to fucking like me, And then like, what if I get bored with them? Like, what if I fundamentally don't like who they are? Like, you can't just send them back. You can't return them for a better model. It's like, I'm just stuck with this human. What if I get stuck with a sociopath? Like, what do I do then? What do I do if I catch my kid torturing animals? Do I take him out? I think I'd be doing it to prevent all the women he's going to kill in the future, you know? I should like flip the genders in this joke. It's not fair that my sociopath is always male, but frankly, it's just based on my personal experience, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, you know, this kid came from me, so it's my brand essentially. So anytime my product fucks up in the marketplace, people blame me. I don't want that kind of responsibility. So I've been thinking of doing ayahuasca. Weed just isn't giving me the same kick it used to. I couldn't afford Peru, so I was looking for retreats in the United States, and I found one in Florida, Orlando, Florida. So already it's going well. It's going real, real well. I feel really safe. An ayahuasca retreat in Orlando, Florida. And the medicine is administered by white people who call themselves healers. So like, as I'm booking the ticket, right? It's like I'm narrating my own true crime podcast episode. The ayahuasca retreat killers, you know, like Isabel's body was found belly up in a gator swamp. All she wanted to do was get high, you guys. All right, that's it for me tonight. Thank you so much.
Keep it going for Isabel, ladies and gentlemen. Isabel Pierre. Woo! All right, we are going to continue. Another very funny man to bring to the stage right now. And pound for pound, possibly the best beard in all of Corona captivity. Put your hands up. Help me welcome Stuart Gibble. Stuart Gibble, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, thanks for zooming in, people. I see we have New Haven and La Canada represented, some other people. Thank you very much. I am starting to get some compliments about the beard, which is good, but the fact is I have a beard because I'm too lazy to shave. So it's kind of like when I get a compliment for being tall, you know, like I had tall parents and they gave me food. It wasn't exactly an accomplishment. But, you know, I'll take whatever I can get. Unfortunately, most of the compliments seem to be from guys. And I'm not sure if they're giving me a compliment because their girlfriend or wife won't let them grow a beard, or because maybe they're into me, you know? And if they're into me, that's okay. I mean, I've been heterosexual for 59 years, but, you know, who knows? The evening's still young. Also, according to the ancient scrolls of my ancestors, it's okay to change your sexual preference once during a pandemic. You get a freebie, okay? No questions asked. You know, so if anyone needs that, talk to me later. Again, I don't have a problem with people who, you know, may think I'm not heterosexual. But at one time in my life, things were a little different. You know, when I was growing up, people told gay jokes all the time. And there were serious discussions on talk shows about how if we have gay marriage, it will ruin regular marriage, and then a man will want to marry his dog, and society will fall apart. And gays were crude, and it was terrible. The good news is society has changed. We now have gay marriage in every state. We have gay politicians like Mayor Pete and Lindsey Graham. We also have Mike Pence. Now, I don't know about Mike Pence. I know one fact, that he calls his wife mother, which makes him a motherfucker. But that's all we know. Everything else is just guessing, okay? And I've changed. You know, people tell me I'm gay, I'm straight. It's like, just don't bore me. That's all I care about, okay? I think one of the reasons gays have become so successful is that they owned it, you know? And they not only owned it, they came up with a slogan. We're here, we're queer. You can't argue with that. You can't call them names anymore. You can't say they're queer, and it fits on a bumper sticker. And that's how you make change in America. You put it on a bumper sticker, you drive around town, people will accept you. Before that, sorry, it doesn't work. I remember once when I was, 20s or something, listening to the radio in my car, and the DJ came on and said she heard some report that Mick Jagger and David Bowie were found in bed together. And they were really offended by that. And I thought about it, and I said, yeah, that's kind of gross, okay? But now I wouldn't care. If I heard on the radio tomorrow that David Bowie and Mick Jagger went bed together, I wouldn't be upset. Unless it happened after David Bowie died. That I have a problem. No necrophilia, homosexuality, okay? That's just a line we have to draw. I know that Mick Jagger needs his satisfaction, and the lyrics of the song say, you make dead man come, but that's a metaphor, right? I mean, sometimes you misunderstand the Rolling Stones lyrics. You know, for the longest time, I thought they were singing, you can't always get a chihuahua. And I thought, why are they thinking about dogs? But, I didn't know. And this other thing about gays recruiting, they said, oh, gays recruit. I go, who are you sleeping with, your sister? Because unless you go out in the world and you find someone of the same sex, the opposite sex to have sex with, you're not recruiting, you're not convincing someone to be gay. We are the way nature or God made us. Take your pick, people. But gays don't recruit, but they should. They should get dressed up on a Sunday morning and go around the neighborhood and knock on doors and say, excuse me, would you like to hear about the benefits of being a homosexual? I think it would piss off the conservatives so much their heads would explode and maybe they would shut up about something. I don't know, just a thought. Again, I'm more open. My kids want me to go on Queer Eye. They say I need a makeover. Okay? Listen, I'm not against Queer Eye, but I do have a question. If you're gay, who do you go for a makeover? Because if someone comes to me, they're in trouble, I'm going to put it with plaids and stripes and whatever. And you know who else wants to give me fashion advice? RuPaul. RuPaul has a masterclass, and he says, if you like money, wear a suit. RuPaul is giving me fashion advice, people. The only one who I know who wears suits are doormen, and people on Wall Street. And do I look like either of those? Like I have a doorman? I live in Brooklyn. I barely have a door, okay? And I am not getting a job on Wall Street, okay? But anyway, I'm so comfortable with my sexuality that recently I tried out for the Village People. They're auditioning. They need a new singer. Apparently, the cop was doing too many chokeholds on and off the stage. So you go to this audition, and you have to come up with a character and a song, okay? My character was the accountant, because they didn't have that. And my song was Double Entry Till I Die. They said I wasn't village enough, but I could try again next year. So I'm working on a rap dentist for next year. Okay? And his song is going to be Drill 'em, Fill 'em, and Bill 'em. And if I don't make the Village People, I will be disappointed. But I'm going to start a solo rap career, okay? Because there's not enough Jewish rappers, okay? So I'm going to be like Ice Jew or Vanilla Heave or something like that. and I'm going to go on the road, and I'm going to be really famous.
Oh.
And if I'm not famous, remember, you can't always get a chihuahua, okay? Thank you very much. Wear a mask. Don't forget to vote. Thanks for coming.
Go to Stewart, ladies and gentlemen. Stewart! Stewart! Or Ice Chew, as he wants to be known. I think we need to honor that. He did say, he did mention that people are worried about gay people recruiting. If they are recruiting, if it comes with dental, I'm willing to switch. I just want everyone to know. Everyone has their line. For me, it's dental.
Well, you will get your mouth filled.
Oh,
Oh, that had to be Franz. All right. So I got to tell you guys this a little brief story. I perform a lot at Gotham Comedy Club, which is in Chelsea, which tends to be a gay neighborhood. And after one show in particular, I had a good set, and I'm leaving the room, and this gentleman follows me out, and he's going, Jim, and I stop. He goes, "You were very funny." And I'm there like, "Thank you, sir." He goes, "Do you have a business card?" And I'm thinking, great, I'm going to get a gig out of this. And I give him my card. I said, "You want to contact me for a gig?" He goes, "No, I just thought I'd call you up and ask you out for coffee." What part of me looks tolerant? That's my question. What part of me would inspire you, if you're gay, to go, he could go to my team? I have to be like their Moby Dick at this point. I have to be like, we're getting this one, Ahab. That's what it is. Because my whole thing, I was just stunned, and I'm there like, I'm going home to my wife. He's there like, "Well, you could still have coffee, can't you?" And I'm there like, Jesus, he's using the same fucking lines I did when I was 19. So I realized that if you are a gay man, you are permanently a 19-year-old boy in terms of your sexuality, because you're using those same exact lines. But we are going to continue right now. We've got just a couple more acts to go. You're going to love this next gentleman. Put your hands together. Help me welcome Franz Kyle. Franz Kyle, ladies and gentlemen.
so if reincarnation actually exists, I am coming back as a white gay male. That's it. That's all I got for you.
How is that different?
There you go. So I woke up this morning to Twitter telling me that NFL star Odell Beckham Jr. misunderstood the Notorious B.I.G.'s From Ready to Die skit. It's supposed to be, so after I shits on the bitch, not the other way around. Fucking millennials just ruin everything. I heard that he actually had women auditioning to shit on him by sending over videotape to show how they would actually do it. And I was thinking, is that Zoom? Is that a Dropbox file? Like, what are we doing?
Oh God.
And I was sitting there going, and I thought fucking women on their period was messy. But that shit, that would bring me to tears. And I'm hoping that Odell is a good man and he actually pays his cleaning people prime rate.
Yeah.
On the other end of the millennials fucking up everything, Tory Lanez, the rapper, apologized to Meg Thee Stallion for shooting her through text. I know that you guys are socially inept at this point, but in my day, we would have chosen a nice, sturdy cardstock and written a nice letter to apologize for pistol whipping or shootings or maybe sexual assault. And his excuse was, I was just too drunk. Let that fucking settle in for a moment. And of course, no charges were brought up against Mr. Tory Lanez because he shot a black woman. Who cares? in the only way to get respect while being a black woman is not being a black woman news, the Kansas Jewish George Washington University professor Jessica Craig outed herself as a white woman pretending to be a black woman, an Afro-Latina, in order to advance her career. I know that sentence makes no sense to any of you. I'm a black man who wants to be seen as a white man in his career just so I can succeed. And this woman chose to be a black woman to do better in her career. I mean, my name is Franz, for God's sake. That is the most Aryan white person name you could possibly think of. I send my resume to companies with my name in all caps and bold and pray for a phone interview. Yes. Oh, yes, this is Franz. Oh, yes, I would love to have that job as a senior vice president for $500,000 a year. Send you a picture? Let's sign that contract first. So now Miss Jessica is the poster child for doing the most just so that she can rap the word nigger in public. And I was thinking, why don't you just do it in private, inside your car or your house, like all the other white people do? You know who you are. Don't be silent on me. And she did such a great job as a black person. She was able to reach the top of her field as a professor in African American and Latino studies. So now white people are taking our jobs and getting higher accolades than we are. That, my friend, is the epitome of white privilege. Elvis would be fucking proud. I'm thinking that she actually watched the movie Soul Man when she was a child and said, I could do that. And that's a whole new level of oppression, or at least a minstrel throwback. But kudos for her stepping up the game and being the ultimate fucking Karen. She even had a huge backstory to go along with it, that she grew up in the barrio of the Bronx to two parents who were hooked on drugs, and her brother was beaten by the police. She had all the tropes. Even Lena Waithe would have been like, whoa, this is too much. I can't even write this shit. She takes method acting to a whole nother level. Joaquin Phoenix would want to study under her. She is truly a master of her craft. And you know that a movie and a book deal is coming next. But Franz, does it count as a white savior movie if the black life that you're saving is yours? Either way, I see an Oscar coming out of this. Because with the new Oscar rules of diversity, she would check all the boxes. Black protagonist? Check. Female protagonist? Check. All the other people black in the movie? Check, check, and check. Well, we think they are. Who knows anymore? I mean, nowadays, even Kamala Harris's blackness is being questioned by white people. When did the one-drop rule expire? I know it was still in effect when Meghan Markle was made a princess. And I can see Sandra Bullock playing her role. She's good at those white savior movies. And she can relate. She has black children. Or we would get Charlize Theron, because technically she is African American. And she too has black children. It's all the rage in fucking Hollywood. And she loves to stretch herself because I saw her in Monster. She was amazing. And what's funny is that she actually used to mix up her story when she was going along, as she'd forget if she was Puerto Rican or Dominican. It doesn't matter. Both of those people are immigrants anyway, according to the Republican Party, because they both speak Spanish. And for those of you who don't know that Puerto Rico is an actual territory of the United States, shame on you. Shame on the United States that it's the Puerto Rican part of the world that actually looks like a third world nation, while the Dominican Republic has great all-inclusive resorts. But as for the actual appropriators, I'm waiting for the headlines to come out that says the first black woman becomes president, and she's just a white woman in disguise. And I'm thinking that's what Kamala Harris's story is going to become. Like a Scooby-Doo cartoon. She's going to rip off her mask and reveal that she's been a white person all this time. And I knew that chick was fishy because she put fucking curry and raisins in her potato salad. And she would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for those meddling Republicans.
Yeah.
And that would be the ultimate form of appropriation. Thank you, and defund Terry Crews.
Keep it going for Franz, ladies and gentlemen. Franz!
Woo!
Franz! Oh, we got more. Do you want more?
Yes!
Sure
Bring us more.
We have our headliner for this show, and actually, I can't believe he actually agreed to do this. This is awesome. We have actually toured the entire world together. We've been on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 continents together, I believe.
Yeah.
And you're gonna love him. He's also, on top of being a brilliant comic, actually one of the only decent human beings that is in stand-up comedy. Put him together with Mark Riccadonna. Mark Riccadonna, ladies and gentlemen.
Nice. Oh man. So in closing, what did we learn today? We learned a lot today at this show. Let's see. First, we learned Jim's version of outdoor dining is in a cemetery. He would rather eat next to dog feces than eat inside while eating rat feces. So, Jim, you got a lot going on. I'm glad Steven Spielberg could be here. James, awesome. I know it's you, Steven Spielberg. I also noticed Jim said something about he misses being in a room full of drunks. Well, you should come over to my house because all that it takes is me and a mirror, and you can be back in the room full of drunks. I really enjoyed watching you guys. And apparently everybody loves Santa Claus except for Verizon. Cats, I don't believe you. You are a horn dog. Your first 2 bits were talking about eating ass. And then you go, I'm glad I'm not one of those horn dogs walking around Walmart. I was like, I think we caught you there. Is he still on?
Cats is there.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't want to like be messing with him and he's not there. And then Mendrinos, you told the cemetery story. You literally got ghosted.
Yeah, that is true.
You literally got ghosted. That's great. Isabel, if you want, you can borrow my kids. I think you'd get along with them because they don't trust white dudes either. They will not eat anything I cook. So Stuart, I love that you let us know you're from Brooklyn, because I wasn't sure if you were Amish, Hasidic, Antifa, or a man out in the middle of West Virginia. I love your I'm loving it. And I'm glad that you drew a line at gay dead sex. That's where you drew the line. It was look, if it's they're dead gay guys, then I'm out. I'm out. But everything else is gay. Franz, I love it. Your message was you can take the hard road or the harder road. And I think before I go any further, I should let you know that I was born a poor black child. I really enjoyed you guys, and I hope you guys had a lot of fun. I think it's great that we talk politics. I think people are afraid to talk politics right now. I've noticed when Hillary ran, there was no signs anywhere. Nobody put signs up in their yard. And I'd be traveling the country and I would see all these Trump signs. Then all my friends in New York City would tell me, you know, Hillary's going to win by a landslide. I don't know one person who likes Trump. And I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. There's signs everywhere in the country that are saying Trump. I've never seen a Clinton one, but I do see Biden ones this year. I see Biden signs this year, and that's very refreshing. I mean, it's kind of, to see a Biden sign is kind of like being a gay dude in the 80s. Like, there's a lot of like little things you got to look for, and like it's almost still hit. Like, they put the sign up by the porch, like you have to really look to see the sign. Like they're still trying not to cause a problem. Where the Trump signs are, you know, hanging off of a garage. It's a big it's a flag hanging off a garage where the roof's about to come in. There's appliances on the front yard. They want to make America great again, but they can't even clean up their yard. I don't get it. But yeah, so I recently moved. I moved out of the city before it was cool. I know now everybody's doing it now. But I moved out a couple of years ago when I had kids, and well, I should say my wife had the kids. I didn't. But the hardest thing about moving is meeting your neighbors. Because how do you do it, right? Like, you go like door to door, up and down the road, like speed dating with the Stepford wives. Like, I'm not sure the proper way to meet the neighbors, you know, because you can't not do anything. Because let's be honest, you see somebody moving in, you look out, and if you see somebody and don't talk to them, you assume. And nobody in this room has assumed anything nice about anybody, right? You see me carrying a box out of a U-Haul truck, you're going, oh great, the cast of Shameless showed up. But how was everybody's quarantine? How was your quarantine, people? Did you enjoy yourselves? It's starting to open up. I'm gonna miss the quarantine. I loved it. I really did. Everybody complained about it. I looked at it as the longest Thanksgiving weekend I was ever on. Because all I did is eat and drink, fall asleep in front of the TV. You know, it was great. It reminded me just of Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's my favorite time of year. I think it's my favorite holiday because it's that one time a year you get the whole family under one roof and realize why you moved out. You know, I'm at the Thanksgiving table, I'm looking across it, and there's my brother, you know, and I'm wondering why bipolar people never have two awesome personalities. And he's passed out on the table, passed out on the food, right? My mom wants to cover for him. She's like, oh my God, you know what? It's the tryptophan. It's the tryptophan that's in the turkey. That's what makes people sleepy. That's the tryptophan. It's in the turkey. Have any of you seen a turkey in the wild before? They're fucking maniacs. How does it go from like a Roadrunner in a fat suit to Valium on a whole wheat bun? I don't understand. And when I miss Thanksgiving, you know what? And this is the one thing I really miss about New York is anytime I miss Thanksgiving, I just go to a diner and order Thanksgiving on a roll sandwich. They make those at the diners, right? They put turkey on it and mashed potatoes and stuffing. They'll even put cranberry sauce on it. I mean, it's like Thanksgiving dinner, you know. And the diner in Queens where I lived, they were so authentic that if you ordered the deluxe, it actually came with a drunk uncle. And yeah, he would yell at you for how you voted last year. So it was just like home. And later that night, you go to the 7-Eleven and watch your brother try to score Trip the Fan. The other thing was the last thing I did before the quarantine started was I did a tour of Florida. And Florida's interesting, man, because we're flying to Key West. And I was so excited, right? I'd never been to Key West. Anybody here been? Anybody here at Key West that been there? Jim, what's the first thing you hear about Key West when people talk about Key West?
Usually the laid-back lifestyle.
Yeah.
What did you hear?
Well, I heard as soon as I said I was going to Key West to my friends that live in Pennsylvania. What's that?
Margaritaville?
No, they all went, oh man, it's real gay down there. And I was like, I've been doing theater in New York City for 20 years. I'm good, bro. But then I thought I'd brag to my theater friends. So I went to my theater friends. I was like, dude, I'm going down to Key West. And they're like, oh, it's really gay down there. I was like, oh my God. Like, will they float across the bridge? How does this work? Farting confetti? I don't know. But I got down there. The first person I met, he looked like Keith Richards. I swear to God, this dude was like 1,000,000 years old, and he would like lived life. And I knew this was a guy I had to talk to. He was going to have the best stories. This dude was so old, he didn't call it a grandfather clock. He just called it a clock. Like, he's that old. And he actually, we were sitting at the bar, and he said the most Key West thing I ever heard in my life. He just looks at me. He goes, hey, man, you got an extra beer? An extra beer? I mean, I didn't have an extra one. It wasn't like I bought 6 and was going to drink 5 and throw 1 out. So, yeah, you better take the extra. Who says extra beer? Extra, that's like the same people who say that cold pizza tastes good in the morning. Who the fuck still has pizza in the morning? I've never made it that far. As you can tell, I'm a pretty laid back dude, you know, and this getting married was tough because my wife likes to do things. And she took me last year. She wanted to go apple picking. That's a how many people have been apple picking? We talked about it on yesterday's show. Jim, you never had to go apple picking?
No, I've had to go.
You did?
Yeah.
I bet you had the same thought as me. As soon as my wife said we're going apple picking, I was like, wait, my grandfather came over here in the 40s. He evaded World War II. He got over here. He signed the papers at Ellis Island. He got a job working in a coal mine and then found time to have a second job to save his money so my father could go to college. My father was the first Riccadonna to go to college. He went in there and he worked his ass off, worked 2 jobs to pay off school and started a family and had me. So I don't have to go out and pick my own fucking fruit. But there I was out in the field. My kids want to know what kind of apples were big. There's 2 kinds of apples, rotten ones and ones with bees in them. Those are real. My kids lost interest. 2 minutes in, they lose interest. I'm like, we could have did this shit at a grocery store. Why are we here right now? Something else I wanted to work on this. I want to bring it up in front of you guys. Maybe some of you guys have some tags. Jump in with it. Jump in with this. I wanted to take my kids to the circus. I remember as a kid going to the circus, and it was awesome. But apparently they closed the circuses down. And now Your only chance at doing something like a circus, my friend said, was going to a carnival. The difference between a carnival and a circus is like comparing laser tag and pinball. Sure, they're both in the same ballpark, but you're probably not going to lose your eye playing laser tag. You know, I went to the circus and I remembered these exotic animals and remember going like, these are animals I'm never going to see again. And then I remember going to a carnival and eating meat on a stick that I was hoping was an animal at some point. At the circus, there are acrobats throwing animals around and catching them and doing all this amazing stuff. At the carnival, there's an animal in a Leonard Skinner shirt throwing you around some ride that's spinning around. Did you ever notice that the X-Files never went to the circus? They never went to the circus, but every other episode, they were at a carnival. I think they knew something we didn't. I'm really glad that you guys followed me on these up-to-date references. When you leave a circus, you go, "Oh my God, I hope they come back." And when you leave a carnival, you go, "Whew, can't believe I made it out of there." I don't know. All right, I guess that's not going anywhere. Let's tell jokes about kids. I have two little ones. Any parents? I know a couple of you were talking about being happy not having kids. So Stuart, you got a kid? How many?
Two.
Two? How old?
24.
Oh, you got older kids. Okay. I got a 4 and a 5-year-old. And holy shit, I can't believe how different they are. They same house, same parents, same everything, completely different children. They are so different.
Are you sure they're the same father?
They're both black, so I think that these kids are so different. I'm telling you, dude. The older one, he looks like me, like he does. He looks just like me. He's got the big poofy hair and a beard. You know, it's very good looking. But my younger one is like just like my wife. You know, just mean and beard. You know, because she's Sicilian, so way thicker than mine. I love my kids because they think I'm so much fun. They really do, because I'm a comic on the road. So when I'm home, all I do is play with them. And my nieces and nephews, you know, like their dads have real jobs and they work, and I am just the silly guy. And they actually, all the kids, they came up with a nickname for me. They call me Fun Dad, you know. It's because I day drink, but they don't know what's going on. They're really good. I take them whenever I can. I try to take them places. And last year, my wife had the idea to go get a real Christmas tree for our house, our first Christmas in the new house, right? So we had to get up at like 6 a.m. and we went out to the woods and we found a farm that specializes in just decorations. All they do is grow Christmas trees. And I'm like, that's the whitest shit I've ever seen in my life. And I am very white. And we go out, we find the tree we want, right? We find the tree, we cut it. I say we, like anybody helped. I cut the tree down. I brought it home. I got it into the living room. I'm setting the tree up, right? All of a sudden, everybody in my house becomes a contractor. Oh, it's crooked. It's crooked. Move it this way. Move it this way. And as I'm adjusting the tree, I realize that my Jewish friends have it right. They do. You've never heard of a young Jewish couple waking up to go weld their menorahs. So I'm married, and I'll leave you guys with a nice, cute thing. I have a dog. I love my dog. It was great. When we were living in Queens, I told my wife, I said, listen, our neighborhood's starting to go downhill. It's starting to get a little rough. I would like a dog. And she's like, our neighborhood's not rough. And I'm like, yeah, it is. It's a shit neighborhood when your idea of fun in the summertime is watching junkies eat ice cream. At first it's fun because they're there. But then all of a sudden they come to, and then realize they have ice cream. You literally watch somebody celebrate Christmas 5 times in a row. Never gain a calorie. So I wanted a dog that I could take out and chase the junkies, keep them away when I go out and stuff. And my wife said I can get a rescue dog. So I called the ASPCA, and they said, we find dogs all the time, but when we find them, they usually have an owner. If we don't find their owner, we'll put them up for adoption, but we'll put you on a list. We find a dog, we'll give you first dibs. I said, that's great, thank you. And I hang up. I don't think nothing of it, 4 minutes later, the phone rings. We found a dog. He was in the middle of the highway at the Cross Bronx Expressway. Do you want him? I got to ask a few questions, and you found him on the Cross Bronx Expressway. I mean, is this a living dog? And they said he got out there, he climbed up on a cement barrier. He was out there. They had to shut traffic down just to get that dog. And I was like, I'll take him. Because I figured it was the Bronx, I was like going to get like a pit bull or a Rottweiler, and I got a Shih Tzu. Named Gizmo, but he's from the Bronx, so he has street cred. All right. And I brought him home. The first thing he did, it was this is how I knew he was a good dog. I took his collar off. He ran into our bathroom and he peed on the bottom of our toilet. My wife didn't even get mad. She was like, you don't even do that good. Thank you guys for letting me come in and sit in with you and try some new fun stuff with you.
Mark Riccadonna, people. Clap for Mark. Mark Riccadonna. Guys, this has been an awesome, fun show. I want to thank all our performers. I especially want to thank our loyal audience members who tend to come every week.
Yeah.
You people you got to be tired of hearing some of the same shit. And we dig you for that. You are awesome, and we're gonna have special treats for you. I'm always gonna make sure that there's somebody new on the show for you. We are gonna have another lovely show next week, so you don't want to miss that one. And one more time for all the performers, weren't they awesome? Mark and crew, you guys were great. And see you next time, people. Goodbye, everybody.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right.